Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of The Monster Squad. The Monster Squad is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Kino Lorber. It can be found as a slipcover edition, available at your online retailers. Now, when it comes to this film, this is definitely one of those movies that, for me personally, had a very heavy rotation growing up. I mean, it came out at the perfect time in the mid to late 80s, and it had that kind of vibe of The Goonies, which came out, I believe, a year or two earlier. And so, you know, you just basically take like an ensemble young cast and just institute monsters instead of a treasure hunt. So basically that's what you get. But it's one of those films that I, at one point, had memorized. It had a lot of great one-liners, quotes. Even now, watching it many, many years, since my initial first viewing, I remember pretty much everything. And of course, a lot of this film has to do with the great creature and makeup effects of Stan Winston. I mean, fantastic. I mean, they look like legit monsters, as opposed to something that would come out today, which would probably be a little bit more goofy. But I mean, Stan Winston, he has such a long career. I love how just the creatures are treated in this one. Yeah, they could have used a little bit more screen time. I would say the creature from the Black Lagoon, for instance, I would have liked a little bit more there. And also, when I first watched this movie, I hadn't seen any of the Universal monsters prior. So, of course, since then, I am a big fan of those. And going back to this, you just love the little clever nods and Easter eggs towards that whole Universal collection of creatures. So, yeah, I mean, The Monster Squad, I love it. It's just a great film that I just go back to all the time. And it's one I highly encourage you to check out if you've never seen it before. All right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment. But first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the 4K Ultra HD edition of The Monster Squad from Kino Lorber. Love the artwork. Great design from we've seen before. And then we have the back and the spine. And interior is pretty much the same from front to back. And of course, being a Kino, you're not going to get really any artwork on the discs, just the standard Kino art there. All right, now we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio. The Monster Squad on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 2:35:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and graded with both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. Now, according to the specs, this transfer underwent a restoration from the original camera negative. Image-wise, I didn't notice any major source blemishes outside of some very minor dirt specks within the opening credits sequence. Film grain was light and thankfully unmanaged, keeping its cinematic appearance intact. Bit rates typically hovered in the 70s and occasionally spiked past the century mark. Image clarity reveals sharper details. Aside from an occasional soft shot here and there, the picture makes great use of the 4K bump. Stan Winston's creature designs look more vivid and lifelike than ever before. The mummy's dusty wrappings, Wolfman's hair, and the close-ups of Frankenstein's monster offer excellent definition. The 4K disc supports a relatively robust Dolby Vision grading that gives a full lushness to the color palette. Day scenes are striking to look at, and the era-specific clothing give off a nice visual pop. In-film highlights include the jewel used to banish the monsters. Its green glow is vibrant, which is further enhanced from the grading. Night scenes are appropriately dark with no instances of unnatural elevation. Shadow detail was also on point, and no crush was seen in my viewing. Now, a special note for you Panasonic 4K player owners out there. Kino Lorber Dolby Vision graded transfers have been known to exhibit brightness and darkness shifts during playback. While viewing this on my OPPO 203, I spotted nothing of the sort, but when I ran it through my Panasonic 820 player, it was pretty noticeable, obvious, especially during the first half of the movie. This once again seems to be a Panasonic Kino compatibility issue, so if you're in this particular group, just be aware. The Monster Squad on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports both a DTS 2.0 as well as a 5.1 audio mix. Now, from my ears, this appears to be the same DTS 5.1 from the prior Lionsgate Blu-ray released in 2009. Just like that mix, it's a rather front-heavy track, but still presents occasional audio cues in the rears. The chaos in the first minutes of the film with the incantation
as well as the climax are the highlights of the rear activity. Occasional ambience and score fill in the gaps throughout the film. Dialogue is clear with no issues to report, and the fronts handle their respective audio cues rather well. Now, that leaves the rather subtle use of the low end. The LFE is a bit flat and lacks meaningful heft, which is a bit of a shame. An upgraded audio mix may have fixed this deficiency, but alas, it's not meant to be this go-around on physical media. For the picture quality, I'm going to give the Monster Squad on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A-. Fans of the film will be pleased with the overall upgrade on the picture across the board. The color palette is lush and bold, and the clarity to the image is really noticeable, bringing out that extra bit of detail. This is an easy one to recommend. For the audio mix, I'm going to score this one a B-. The Monster Squad's 5.1 is nothing too exciting, and it definitely could have used some TLC with an Atmos upgrade. In-film audio cues are fine, but aren't very impactful due to a lackluster low end. If you have the old Blu-ray, you've heard this one before. So that is my review of the Monster Squad on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.